The iRacing Indy NXT series rolls on at rapid pace. Week 4's already upon us, and we're at the brand new, beautiful rescanned Barber just in time for Week 4 of the iRacing Indy NXT Championship. Howie Burrows for this week alongside Sebastian Kinder as ever. This is one of those tracks that I, unfortunately, haven't truly gotten to know inside and out all too much, and I feel like I've been missing out with the rolling hills, the epic corners. It's going to be very, very high speed and very difficult to keep that car under you around here.
Yeah.
Qualifying. There we go. It happens. Qualifying just wrapping up right now for our drivers on the track. This place is an absolute roller coaster. Built right next to the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. It's full of plenty of unusual sculptures that you'll see all over the track. I've been told there might be an arachnophobia toggle, although someone could have also been pulling my leg along the way. Seems like a lap here is absolutely on the limit in any open wheel car, but Sebastian, this one is especially slippy and tricky, and even though it's wide and there's a lot of space to make moves done, you're going to have to really, really keep grip throughout a lap in order to get the most out of this.
It is one of the toughest track, I think, as in traditional road courses. It's one of the toughest track out there. Super physical, with a car that is very slipping happy. So, Howie, welcome to Drive to Survive, the Indy NXT edition.
Worth shouting out the current state of the championship standings at Robert Ridgway, who will be in today's SOF, is currently our leader. Obviously, iRacing system, very big and very complicated, but it's got a decent lead for now. There's so many weeks down the line. Of course, we follow the entire Indy NXT series here on iRacing, going all the way up to 16 rounds, and there's plenty of time to score points. 3K SOF on this lobby. I think a lot of drivers have been occupied by the antics at Sebring right now. I've definitely chosen to take a miss this year after it went particularly badly last time around. But we have those really decide to dedicate the time to finishing out this championship, though we know that this car is a tricky thriller. It's our third road course out of 4 races here on the season, and this might be the trickiest one yet.
I mean, we had St. Pete last week, so probably not the trickiest, but yeah, it's up there. But well, as you said, with like the older people being at Sebring, we still have like some familiar names out there. We still have Perez still first as usual. We have Matthews, Straub, Ridgway, Hanswick, Marcomini, Sahim that we saw last week. So yeah, a lot of still familiar names that knows where is the real action.
Of course, the broadcasting here for the Indy NXT iRacing series is brought to you by iCoaching. iCoaching's high-level setups and personalized coaching programs are built to take your iRacing and consistency to the next level. Get your subs for this series and the iRacing IndyCar series at iCoaching.co. That's iCoaching.co. Just a couple more to go for some of these drivers, and laps are quick here. They are almost under a minute alone. The track looks a lot longer than it is, I think, from the track, from the map. It sort of looks like it's as long as a Grand Prix circuit, but it's a thrill ride up and down all the way to the end. Been told from drivers in the session, grip is extremely low and the wind isn't helping. The last sector seems to be incredibly difficult for these drivers here, and they're going to have to hold on for a good hour here.
Oh yeah, they're not going to enjoy this, Howie. I mean, clouds out there, so I don't think it's too hot. Yeah, track to temp is 23 degrees Celsius, 74 degrees Fahrenheit, so not the hottest track out there, but yeah, no, the drivers today don't need a 50 degrees Celsius track, Howie. They don't.
And a 20 kilometers per hour wind, scaling up to 24 as I speak, up to 25 as I speak. Yes, it just went up by many kilometers and miles an hour during the session transition. It's going to be brutal to keep a hold of this car. Obviously, the car's slightly faster, higher power in qualifying. They've got just that little bit less grip, but you best hope you have a good setup underneath you to get through. We have our starting grid lined up. 17 drivers have made the session today, and it begins with a pole position for Ivan Mercado Perez, doing it yet again on the front row, alongside Aman Lal in P2. Rafael Lippi lines up P3 next to Isabel Matthews in 4th, and then there's Johannes Traupe next to Robert Ridgway. I'm trying with some of the names, but I always got to give him a shot. Michelle Hunswick lines up in 7th next to Miles Brown on a 10 card on row 5. It's David Clennon and next to Matthias Esquel, Marco Mimi. Alice Spice is up 11th next to Jeremy Cruz. We have Zach Purcell in 13th next to Christopher Sanheim. Alex Warkus is next to Luis Vasquez on row 8, and Richard Stone makes out our last place on the grid. Short pace lap up to the front. Driver's not going to get much time to breathe. Where are you looking to pass here, and what are the keys to getting a good race done in these 35 laps?
So actually, we're on the long pace lap. So yeah, I'm going to talk as slow as possible.
I can't even recognize this track. You know, like where's the start finish line?
You know, it's a good thing I did a few laps earlier today, so I'm like back into the Barber rhythm. So I would say we're going to get to a hairpin, which would be turn 6. That would be like the main passing opportunity. It's a big braking zone, so you can like outbrake your opponent. We have also like a downhill corner, and I already forgot what the number of the corner is. Which is, well, you're going to recognize this section because the corner kind of looks like a Rouge and Radian from Spa, actually. And we also have I think it's turn 8, which could be also like a sneaky passing opportunity. And if we want some last like action heroes, expect some shenanigans in the final corner, Howie.
Last lap shenanigans in a race of this length. That's the sort of thing that can happen when you're getting desperate on the championship. It certainly can. Pace car starting to get rolled off right about now, and indeed is the long pace lap around the track. Wind speed now 13 miles an hour, and I'm hearing people saying there's no grip whatsoever all over the track. So really just getting your laps clean and getting them done is going to be the most important, consistent thing of all. I wasn't asked to shout this out, but I'm going to shout it out anyway. Our producer here, Julian Altena, who I also should have shouted out in the intro. Hi, Julian. Running this one with a brand new PC, and hopefully it looks better than ever on the channel. It was well overdue, and he rapidly built the thing, just in an absolute hurry, trying to make it here today. And impressively, all the software made it here in one piece, and there wasn't a disaster. So I wouldn't have that sort of work ethic. I wouldn't be able to get that done, let me tell you that. Lots of heat trying to get into these tyres. They've got a lot of space on the track to do it. It's very wide, but wide enough for a full IndyCar, and we're running the small one. But I feel like if you send it too many cars wide, you're going to end up in a catastrophe because so many of these turns are very high speed.
They actually are very high speed. So there we go. This is the turn 8. So this is the second passing opportunity. We saw the hairpin just before, which is like the first passing opportunity, and we'll be coming to a very fast and very tight chicane right up there. You see that chicane? It doesn't look like much, but it's almost flat out. And when you're on cold tires, watch out for that.
I love those chicanes that are hardly a chicane, and you just throw the car in at maximum speed. Lots of grass all over the sides of the tracks as well. Get ready to catch you and make your tyres very happy if you run over at a super high speed. So certainly a quick track, certainly a quick lap. We're about to wrap up the pace lap, and I'm cutting you off one more time because I have all the discipline of working with you in the world.
Yeah, so this is the third passing opportunity I mentioned. This is this corner, and I mean, from this camera angle, did you really just compare this to Eau Rouge and Radian? On board, it looks more like it.
Certainly a lot of turns where I saw it on board leading up to this, and I thought, wow, they don't put elevation change like this on tracks anymore. Pace car rolling in. It's Ivan Perez to mark the start. I'm on low alongside in the purple, though. This is going to get itself very, very close, tight, and treacherous as we approach 35 laps of flat-out racing here, and we are green. It's a good launch for Perez as ever, but Lippi has gotten himself alongside Amon Lowell pretty impressively, and I think he might be able to clear right out of the first 2 turns. Not quite, stuck on the outside now. Lowell remains bitey and competitive already. 8 tenths for Perez off in the distance, making a second. He just wants to run away with it while the whole pack doors behind. There's plenty of rows too wide on the back of the track, make it almost free.
Lippi made the mistake. Oh, we see a little snap just behind them, and good on them to not be trapped by like the crest before this hairpin. It's very dangerous. Yeah, this track is not for the faint of heart.
There might be space to run alongside, but can you really get in there? Lippy was able to push his way ahead along. We're running mostly single file throughout the field. Only 65 seconds of push to pass over the course of the race. You're going to have to use that very, very wisely, because that's a big power boost, and these cars won't be super clipping at the end of every single straight imaginable. Already some just trying to extend the edges of the track through some of these fast turns in the end. Here's on board the 7 of Hanswick. He's getting himself past out there. There's Matthews going through, but almost contact. I don't think you want to get that close to someone else in these cars right now. They're going to get away with it, and they're going to duel into turn 1.
Oh, this is not a good idea to be so racy up so soon. That was a close one.
Still tight. Isabel Matthews, she has the point ahead right now. I don't think Hanswick is done at all. Some drivers now starting to attack the push to partner on lap 2. A big lock up on the inside by the 7. Miles Brown might be able to have it open, and that is the tyre heat gone too far. Hope he can pick that one back up. No, he cannot. There are cars in the way. Brutal contact.
Oh, yeah, we're going to need a replay of that, because, good lord, Marco Mini got also involved with this, and the car is completely messed up. But, yeah, Hanswick maybe got too ahead of himself. And, yeah, this car is very snappy on the rear. Oh, that's brutal. That's just brutal.
Kind of nowhere for him to go as well, unfortunately. Further back up live, Lippy's challenging here for P3. Trollpay's made it up the road, and they're chasing side by side into the first corner. I think we're still on the replay of the incident right now. There it is. Marco Mimi tried to make an avoid to the inside. Unfortunately, the 7 doesn't really know where to go when he spun right in the middle of the track and gotten himself caught there. Sorry, back to live now. It's been a while. It's been a while, and even I need reminders and poking, which is funny given some circumstances. Perez is 2 seconds away. He has just decided to fly into the absolute distance, and Amon Law's done pretty well for himself too here.
Yeah, Amon Law did decent because he was duking it out with Lippy, and nothing like Lippy has to worry about Traup. And yeah, I mean, welcome to Indy NXT on road course, Howie. You're going to see Ivan Machado Perez completely destroying the field, Alex Palou style.
Going to make up some points though in the rest of the rounds. Obviously, the oval sides of the rounds, they will use different iRacing to determine the SOF, and that can make very, very big swings. Maybe one of the reasons he hasn't actually managed to lead yet. Looking further back on the field, plenty of cars in some good close chases. I believe we're looking at Vasquez here behind Jeremy Cruz, and Ellis Spice in the orange just further down the road. None of these drivers really dipping into the push to pass. Jeremy Cruz just a little bit. Your usage is quite limited at 65 seconds here though.
I mean, 65 seconds, that's you gotta use it wisely. You got like 35 laps. It's almost a full tank, Howie, 45 laps. 76 liters in those in the next cars. Actually, it's 6 liters more than the IR18 actually.
And I imagine it could use less. Certainly a slower engine, got less rev per minutes, and I'm just guessing the rest here in the middle. Lots of drivers really starting to use that grass on the chicanes. Maybe you do get a certain amount of off tracks per race, and I'm not quite sure what counts, but usually iRacing is pretty strict when there's grass. They do not like you even sticking a single tyre there, so gonna have to watch those limits. You get a drive through at 17 and then at every 8, but usually you're not making too much contact in these cars, and you want to make the absolute best of those rapid turns.
Yes. Speaking of off track, like I'm seeing on ATVO, Matthews has 2 off tracks. Perez just got an off track. I mean, I feel like these guys know what they're doing, and I feel like they won't get to the incident DQ limit. Just for checking, I'm actually going to check that, Harry, for you. How many X's you have until you get disqualified?
I don't think there is a DQ. I think it is repeated 17 and 8 for every single drive-through on the track. That's a pass by the 13, snuck up of the inside of Jeremy Cruz. Wants to try and chase down Ellis Spice. Warrior's worried that wide exit to the turn was maybe going to compromise his exit, but it doesn't look like that's the case. And in fact, he's very much charging down the road. No push to pass needed to get that close to Ellis. I think Vasquez might have places to be. He's going to have to get past one lean, mean orange car in order to get further up the road.
Yeah, for Vasquez, you gotta get close. You gotta know where you can use your push to pass. Usually, I would say like when I would say if I'm exiting, like if I want to do like a move on like the downhills, I would like to be like a tenth behind the car in front, so I can use that push to pass in the draft to get alongside them and force them to say, hey, inside's mine, get away.
Past the P4 on the track. We've been seeing moves out of Raphael Lippi. But here's the 4 car. Johannes Trappe may have had a very bad exit. Trapp is probably the better way to say it, but he's just taken that exit bad, probably had to slow down.
I would say that's a slow down penalty. That could be a slow down penalty.
Wondering what he cut to make that happen. But,
yeah,
I mean, you was off the line and he definitely got out of the way, and that is not racing speed down the straight. I'm trying to keep an eye, a second eye on the battle for P2, because that could explode at any moment, but this 3-car chase for P9 is pretty much just as good, because Cruz has managed to stay within touch. Problem is, I've noticed you get in this 2.5-tenth bubble, then it's actually about working out the move past there. And a lot of these moves have been driver ahead has taken a turn too wide, taken a silly mistake, and just about given you the gap.
Exactly. So let's see. A bit too far to my liking. So yeah, if I was Vasquez, I would like back off and just okay, fine. Let's try to stay close possible. You see how they have different lanes during this couple of corners. Trying to get a clean air.
Not the only battle happening on the track. Raphael Lippi's trying to pass Lyle for second, and Miles Brown is quite close to Isabel Matthews for sixth, but neither have really completely developed into their own element quite now, and a few slower turns from Vasquez have slowed him down. Here's further up front, though. Amon Lyle in the VOR purple has just been running some good clean laps and consistently holding off Raphael. I mean, Perez is gone. I'm going to assume that you tell me this is the daily tradition on the series, that he's in a different zip code. He might even be lapping someone over this race. Technically, Hartwick's a lap down, but he's damaged. So a lap down but damage, that's not on raw pace yet. I'm going to have to see how long it takes for them to make their way through. But I'll believe you on that one. I'll believe you that that's inevitable. Raphael just trying to stay in tile. I think this is going to be a game of wait for a mistake, wait for an opportunity. Low hasn't touched any of the push to pass.
He's close. He's going to go for it.
Here's the battle, though, here against Ellis Spice. I think Vasquez has finally made the move, just flown on by, and that is Spice on the edge of grip. Down and out, not touched in the slightest, but we've been talking about grip being poor on the track all day, and that's the second driver that's just had his own incident to it. The car just went under him like ice here, running through the turn.
That's a weird way to lose that, actually. Let's see. Okay. Oh!
A little bit of too much steering lock, and that was it. Oh, this car could be brutal. This car could be absolutely brutal to you. I mean, drove that thing for a season when it came out.
Yeah, and also like curves. I mean, I found that curves were pretty deadly too. I mean, I only tested with the stock iRacing set, so maybe not the best example, but I found like curves were like very deadly on this track, except for like the big curves, like where we see Spice crash. Actually, ironically.
We've seen Brown pass Matthews, just didn't quite see it, but it happened just a moment ago. But Lippi is chasing down Lol as we speak and getting close still. But I think it's more like this jar is going to have to be forced wide open. I don't think it's just going to naturally open itself through pressure. This track is not providing a huge amount of opportunities to force the issue. A lot of very fast turns, not many chances to truly outbrake someone entering some of these turns, but instead you just have to push and expose a mistake.
Okay, so we have a replay here. Oh, well, that's a lovely battle. That's lovely.
This was Brown and Matthews. Isabel Matthews losing out. Brown was able to sneak on ahead, but one of those just had pace. Oh, a little bit of a slip there from Isabel leaving the turn. I could see that rear is having a bit of slip in it. It's sort of like hard to completely tell because she's not going the whole way around. run down the straight, then you can just use the draft and use the run, and still not completely alongside yet, still not completely clear yet. This battle really evolved for quite some time over the course of the lap, but I do feel like Brown is going to have the edge.
That's pretty. I love side-by-side open wheel racing. Very clean, a lot of respect between these two, and yeah, they just put on the show there, Howie.
The racing has been good and the racing has been respectful. This is a track that certainly gives drivers the space to do it. And time has been flying because we're 10 laps through 35 already. It's very much a sprint race all the way to the end. You get it on that one tank, but it's all the better to just see chasing and battling. One driver that hasn't exactly been chasing anybody except maybe his own shadow is Ivan Perez, who is looking to make that number the big 35 by the end of the day. I think it would take a disaster in order to change that fate. Meanwhile, here's Raphael Lippi again. This battle just looks like if we look away at any point, that will be when it explodes. You never really know because there's no definitive flashpoint here between the two. There's no certified this is the moment he has to go for it. It's just been that he's been faster in some parts, slower than others, and the lap time's been pretty even across the board of the race. He's close to the rear bumper of Lyle, but then he'll sort of lose out going a bit wide here. And advantages and disadvantages, they're pretty much even over this lap.
Yeah, that's impressive. Like, and these two have been pulling away from Ridgeway and Traupe, so they're not going slow either. As we see lap traffic, so interesting how to see how this will play. Oh, that lockup. That's a big
lockup. And that might be all she wrote for Lippi for now. We might get a chance to chase back, but one tough lockup on that turn. You saw it and called that very much as you saw it. It's a big speed killer, and this track really does test you on the brakes because there's a lot of these like slow speed turns where you still need to force some rotation out of the car as you run through the corner, and it's very easy to lock up here. Lyle's being held up very badly though, and this has let Lippi sneak all the way in. Lap car out of the way now, but that was about half a second lost in a twisty section where the car couldn't really get out of the way. And that might have opened this battle up again.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to mention the Sebring 12 hours, but like this is the classic case in motocross where it's just like wrong place, wrong time.
Maybe the chase still is on. They're in a 4 tenths, making about 4 tenths to half a second right now. Miles Brown's off the track, backwards off the road. He's going to give up all sorts of places, and this one, when we look back at it, is a little bit sad actually, because it was something that you predicted just that little bit earlier that we haven't seen come to roost yet. It's the curb.
Oh, the curb!
Take him like a Mario Kart jump, and out you go.
Yeah, you usually don't take that inside curve through there, and yeah, that's the reason why.
Tough and tricky, and that's going to be a drop back on the field. Now here's a battle further back in the field. This is Alex Walker's using push to pass, clearing out Zach Purcell. Ellis Spice still got a lot of ground to make up after his earlier mistake, but that car isn't damaged, and he's going to keep racing all the way to the end. He started 11th, so he's actually only 2 places down, but he's on the back of this train right now. Certainly does have the pace. He's been running a second faster than Zach Purcell, who's one of the lower I-rating drivers in today's lobby. But it's going to make that move happen. Both drivers have every second of push to pass available as well on the field. I mean, only one driver's really used half of it. That's Miles Brown, and we know that Miles has been doing a lot of battling on the track here today. How many spaces do you think Ellis could really make up here today, Kinder?
Good question, and I will. and I actually don't know. We'll see.
That's one VOR penalty point on the next report right there for that one. Let me tell you, I've got the autonomy. Just you wait. I'll get that document out any time today. David Clennon here in the 12 has been running a chase of his own, back on board with Spice, trying to make the battle down on Purcell. Still not touching the push to pass button. You really, you ought to use some of this over the course of your race, because you lose everything that you don't use. But for now, he's keeping very patient.
I think he will go for it.
It's a tricky turn to do it on, but I think he's forced his space on the inside, and that's going to write the answer.
Yeah, and I knew it. Since he went over the crest, yeah, the move was done, and that was a pretty good move. As we see, this is also quite a close battle between Clennon and Matthews. Matthews will have to do a lot of work defensively today, Howie.
She's been dropping quite a few places, slide in the back. That's a car around. That's Luis Vasquez off the track. I actually don't think he's lost a place to that.
No, I think that was a lapped car, maybe.
It's Christopher Saim. It's Christopher Saim. There we go. Got it in time. So he also hasn't lost a place because it was already a lap down and struggling on the track. Now, running awfully slowly. I wonder if he's just waiting to sort of park that car here today. Here's David Clennon on the push to park to Isabel Matthews. She's dropped 2 places. She doesn't want to lose more, and David Clennon's only been moving up on the road. She has been racing with a lot of respect on the track. I do love to see it, but I think this track she's certainly not slow, qualified in the top 6, but over the long run, maybe she's just been preserving, trying to play the long run and hope you get a good position out at the end of it, because we've not seen much well-beating pace over race distance.
Yeah.
Here's Lippy. He might do it.
And again, a stint at Barber is very exhausting. It's very exhausting to do, so we'll see at the end.
Up to the rear, backed off again for now, but he was around 4 tenths off this time last sort of few laps, so I'd say he's within a closer bubble. His last lap was also faster. His fastest lap is also faster. He's starting to get to the point now where he's getting impatient, gets a wheel in. That's not going to be quite enough, but Lowell's going to take the corner exit wide, and Lowell's going to use push to pass on the way out of the turn. It's feeling desperate. It's feeling like this place might get given up anytime soon, but Lowell's just about held enough pace for now. That's a very poor take of those S's from Lippy, and that's going to sort of give Lowell the insurance again, but it's insurance. This battle will rage on with 20 to go.
Yeah, Lippy is clearly faster, but now he's gonna make the work, the move work and stick. And right now, oh yeah, look how he got loose out of that corner.
Seems to be getting loose at times. It really matters.
Yes.
Might be also a little bit of air off the car ahead. Could just be a minor factor when you have already no grip in the first place. Making things tricky. And Perez is now on the push to pass, by the way. Nothing to see there. Nothing to see, but he is now just trying to set fastest laps in a row.
Yeah, he doesn't want to end with like 65 seconds of push to pass. He wants to use the whole thing.
Here comes Lippy again, tries to force it open in the same place as ever. It's just been the best overtaking spot on the track. He hasn't been able to outbrake, though, in a way that's really impressive. He sort of still remains in tow, and actually you can see Robert Ridgway in the background. This battle's been slowing him. Now hops that curb through the S's. That curb always seems to be Lippy's Achilles heel. He gets up close, and that's the same corner he loses at every time.
Yeah, and that's a shame, because if he keeps the same gap that he's entering that corner, maybe he can try a cheeky move down the downhill corner. Meanwhile, as we saw, Matthews. What happened to Matthews?
Matthews dropping back further again on the track. She's not exactly been going anywhere but backwards over this race, even with decent pace, but here's quite how it happened. I hope this wasn't a total disaster. She's running slower.
Oh, the dive bomb!
Less momentum down the straight, and she gets pushed to past.
Oh, that was like he didn't send this move from Alabama. He sent it from like, I don't know, like Dakota, like North Dakota or something like that. I don't know. I don't know.
The battle for second has gotten closer and closer and closer. During that replay, Lippy got another wheel in, got about half car overlap, thought better of it, and backed out into a tough turn. So this is just getting pushed and pushed, and now you can see that Robert Ridgway is well and truly part of this now. Maybe even Trout as well. Johannes there back in 5th. This has become a true train. They've been slowing each other down, and now it's only going to heat up.
Yeah, imagine this for being for the lead, but no, we have Perez 15 seconds of the road, sadly.
And the fastest lap.
Oh my god, Perez.
That's a whole second faster than Lowell's fastest. A 1:12.6, by the way. Like,
that's crazy.
Gonna have to wrap up that championship though. Right now, he's not even leading. So, I mean, there are more sessions than just this SOF. There's a limited number of time slots in every week, and you gain points based on the SOF of your lobby. This is one of the SOF races, but if you end up in one that's higher and do just a little bit better on that one, you end up outscoring others. That's why the iRacing standings, they can be quite difficult to decipher. Under the brakes, Leapy gets close, not even close enough to make the move there, but that's the number one turn, that's the number one spot, it keeps happening. But I wonder if with Ridgeway just as close behind, he's going to have to play as much defense as he plays offense.
Yeah, that's the deal breaker, because back then he could have tried those moves he tried, no problems, because the other guys were like super far behind. Now he's gotta have to think about, if I try a move, will I get will it succeed, and if I fail, am I putting myself in risk of losing a position? Welcome
You have to look at his push to pass windows as well. So Alal's got 54 seconds, Leapy's got 26, and behind Ridgeway's got 42. So Leapy's been using so much to make this pass happen, hasn't successfully made it happen whatsoever, and now has to play the battle from two prongs in two different ends at the same time. Here's Trump as well, just behind in the 4 car. Not a factor in this battle now, but if it ends in tears, he'll be one of those cars to benefit.
That's the position I like. There's just behind, just enough behind to grab the popcorns and just enjoy the show. And if there's a mistake, I'll be sure to bank on it.
Another lap, another attempt at the hairpin, another move not quite made. Down the hill though, Leapy runs a wider line through the second part of that chicane than Lyle. He seems to be doing it every single lap on the road, and it's not devastating, but it certainly doesn't seem to be the most effective line. Lyle is holding on for dear life here and has been running a fantastic defensive drive just by keeping his line. Here comes the threat one more time. A little bit to the inside, a little bit more. I think Leapy's overcooked it though. Ridgeway's in with this now. It's a 3-car chase. Ridgeway drops back just a little. That got close. That was a real check-up in tow. I think Lowell may have had a slow turn.
Yeah, Lowell has a slow turn, but like good on him for like blocking the inside. He knew Lippy would try to take like every half opportunity that Lippy will have, he will try to take it. So you gotta watch that for if you're low. And now Ridgeway lost a bit of gap, like a bit of ground, and now Top is maybe looking for a move there, Howie.
Bob's getting closer and closer too, but it's more like this is separated into 2 packs rather than it being one singular chase. I mean, I expect Ridgeway to sort of make it back, and then we'll be playing this game again. Very, very wide take of that chicane again for Leapy. It's going to lose a lot of time, and not nearly as much as Ridgeway loses. Incredibly wide on the exit. Very lucky that Johannes didn't just take the place off him on the spot right there. He decided to stay in tow. That was a lot more patience than many others would have given out there on the track.
Oh, lap traffic, interesting.
More on the way. Drivers are losing their laps throughout this race now. That's Michelle Hanswick already 2 down on the top, and we've already seen there are parts of this track you don't want to run into the lap traffic because they can try to help you, but there's some places and times where it's just not safe and not smart. He's going to hold the position for now. I'm very curious as to what happens. He runs this turn wide. That's going to give the space to everybody. Okay, fair enough. But Ridgeway's had another bad take on a turn. A very bad take on a turn still. And Trout's not done.
No, he's not done.
Four in a row for P2. Don't ask where the leader went. We're not even sure where he went. He's got another 17 minutes out front to continue to run that pace and have no further. It's the only other meaningful battle on the track is Isabel Matthews and David Clenning. Matthews is getting closer as well, but further up front, I think the real fireworks are on, and I'm just waiting for Leapy to finally do something bold around here, quite frankly. I think he's been lining himself up for a long time, waiting for the shot, and hasn't really made. He's been a little bit scared of causing an incident of making the move. Eventually, you run out of time. I mean, we're almost at 10 to go here.
Yeah, I mean, and also not only running out of time in terms of laps, but also in terms of push-to-pass. Remember how Lippy used a lot of his push-to-pass already. So again, he's running against the clock, and now he's gonna make sure, extra sure, that now the next move he does is a good move because it's going to run out of resources. Meanwhile, Law, I think he still has like over 50 seconds left of push-to-pass. So yeah, good luck, Lippy.
Lowell's certainly got enough horsepower on that engine to defend, and that might matter when it all reaches the end, because now Lippy is down to less than 20 with that last little burst on the straight. There's got to be nothing more frustrating than being stuck here and knowing it was possible, and still not quite getting it done.
Like, it's crazy. He gained so much time for that downhill Eau Rouge style section, but he just can't get out of the final corner this close.
One more run down the start, finish straight. The laps are being decided by someone that's 20 seconds away, so we're not going to kind of implement the counter quite there, but his laps fly on by. They're only a minute 11 to a minute 12 long for everybody out there on the track. Here's Isabel Matthews, our next closest battle on the track, and she's been involved in many a good fight, but she's yet to really make up a place. In fact, it's really only been getting past. I think it'd be great for her if she could get this one done in time and at least take home the P6.
Yeah, there's always the frustrating races where like you're always on defense and you're just losing position and you just can't get faster. That's I gotta say that's the worst feeling in terms of sim racing.
I mean, maybe one of the worst feelings would be wrecking it, so she probably doesn't want to push it over the line, and we've seen people wreck it on the track, although to be fair, far fewer than anticipated. Only a few drivers have really gone off the track. We've had 2 retirements, Mark Amimi and Richard Stone, one of them caught horribly by accident as a result of a spin, running down one of the major straights on the track, so that was terribly unlucky. But time must go on, still 15 running the track. Matthews just one of those waiting for her chance, but I've got to say that something about Julian's rendition of the track is a lot more overcast than what I have on my screen. I don't know who's right, okay? Whether it's sunny or whether it's a little bit miserable out there, but I'm sort of getting this like distinct vibe of like the bus with the happy side and the sad side, and on one side is the most miserable cold day you've ever seen, and on my other monitor is a nice sunny one at Barber. But I've been told its graphics are just better, and maybe I do just have to resign myself to that sort of logic.
All I'm saying is skill issue there, Howie. Skill issue.
Yeah, I mean the PC is brand new, but I'm going to have to share that picture privately and just show you that like I have a very nice, happy, sunny Barber today, whereas these drivers are just having to run through the fog and the terror. A few sides from Robert Ridgway out on the edge of the turn hasn't made the biggest of impact to Trout's chase, as the passes haven't really completely materialised yet. Worth knowing though, with 10 to go, that Lowell still has 41 seconds to push to pass in the tank, double the amount of Leapy. I've noticed that the drivers are going tiny squirts on it on corner exits. They're not using it to like extend, long corner exits into straights. They're just tapping that just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, with such little push to pass, you can't really use it much. So you just want a little burst to give a little more oomph to your corner exits, and that's how you do it. Kind of like how we use the hybrid in which way?
Another slide from Ridgway. He's really losing touch of those tires right now on the track. he's slipping and sliding, and I mean, this car gets active on corner exit. You actually look at some of the dirt there as well. It's been kicked onto the track surface. That's not going to help. Drivers have been extending track limits by quite a bit today. Another little slide. It's not significant, but I can see that rear end. That one's more significant. This is brutal. This is getting itself worse every single turn. I think the pass is going to get done now.
No, not into one. You with how Trapp was positioned, but I feel like Ridgeway may have cooked his rear tires, and Trapp may be striking. Oh, maybe a little bit of impatience in the carousel turn there.
10 to go this time because it was 11 last time because I never learned to count in school. So that's just how it is, unfortunately. Now it's 10 to go on the line. Johannes Trapp just hasn't been able to make the most of the situations that have been given to him, ultimately.
No, I think he got a little bit too impatient and tried to go like around the outside in the carousel, which wasn't the greatest move ever. But yeah, Ridgeway, you gotta watch out now because I feel like he cooked his rear tires. Meanwhile, Lull almost a second on Lippy, so interesting.
They'll start to dip into the push-to-pass now. He used about 6 seconds. I think he might have forced his way away. He might know that Lippy's hand has been played just a little bit. Now, I've been trying to keep an eye out for all the sculptures around Barber, because obviously the ever-eccentric owner likes to create wonderful works of art and just put them everywhere he can find. I believe iRacing did actually scan that poor woman that fell onto the track and got massacred last year, but I haven't actually found her on the track yet. I'm not too knowledgeable, but apparently she's here.
I think she's here. I think in the pre-live on the scenic shots of the track. I think we saw her.
Should be on the bridge. Should be on the bridge that she's on.
Yeah. So yeah, we're actually coming to that bridge. Actually, it's that bridge right there. So let's see.
Oh, I've been told she's there somewhere. I've seen a picture. I'll believe them. I'm not seeing it at high speed. On the left, I've been told. Oh, no. Julian saw it before me. Well, that's life, isn't it? I've been told it was absolutely certifiably there. And now Julian's going to need to find a way to get back up the line after the slow motion shots to help me find a mannequin. I'll do the work on my end next time, and I'll tell you where it absolutely was, because it's one of the, someone in the iRacing chat said there's an arachnophobia toggle. And I don't have arachnophobia, but we know there's big spiders all over the track. Just, they eat you if you go off the track in some of the turns. And I have been looking for the tick just because it would be funny, and I haven't found it, and I'm feeling like I've been trolled. I can shout out who trolled me. Robert Ridgway might have trolled me. I don't know yet if it exists. That's funny. I appreciate it. They're doing their best out here. But I couldn't find it in the spectate mode at the very least. So I'm going to call that my second skill issue of the day. It's about Matthews getting hungry here on the rear of David Clennon.
She may have a shot.
But the space just was not given that time. Clennon's placing his car off so well to defend in the middle of some of these turns. There's almost like half a car's to the inside, but there's not enough vital hairpin here. Very important that you sort of leave your space protected.
Good job on Clennon for this one. Meanwhile, Perez is lapping people as usual.
I did find the mannequin on my side. She just went under the bridge and I found her. She's actually hanging. She's actually hanging from the bridge.
Yeah, she's hanging from the bridge. That's how she got dropped last year in
don't
real
end
life.
up in a horrible incident. I mean, we're still looking out for her every day. Here's a bad Mercado Perez. There's always a thing about drivers that dominate broadcast series, and that is that the best drivers you don't end up talking very much about, because they end up pulling 20-second gaps and there's no real use putting the camera on them. There's more interesting things going on. You don't give them the credit they deserve for being absolutely shockingly dominant in this car. Perez, 22 seconds down the line. It would take a lap car taking him out to ruin his race, and I don't want to hope for such a fate. Matthews is getting so close now. More than double the push to pass, by the way.
And each time, I think Clennon's a bit better on the back on the gas on the apex of that carousel turn, and that's allowing him to keep that position over Matthews. So if you're Matthews, you gotta work out. You gotta work this out now.
5 seconds of push to pass on Robert Ridgway. I feel like that position might get prized open like a sardine can, because 12% has 43 to go and there's 6 laps. That's going to be so much chance to push hard on every corner exit. There's no limits as to when you can use it other than be above a certain rev range. So he will be able to just make his move for it. Isabel Matthews has more than David Clennon, hasn't quite been able to open. This can hurt Self though, still stuck within 4 attempts. Time is running out.
Yep. Although 6 laps at Barber is still a long time, so no hopes lost yet. You just need to get a good exit out of the carousel turn to set up a move down the hairpin.
How many more shots of that do you get, really? We're running out of them. 6 to go.
Oh, someone is...
around.
Oh, who's that?
That is not a car that should be there at all. That is Michael Hanswick. He's been lapped already. He's still struggling to get laps done, and I think he self-spinned on the exit. Thankfully not collecting any more victims along the way. The chase continues, though, with Matthews. She's looking to get it done now. Both running push to pass down the straight, but the exit was good for Matthews. She's going to have the inside, but a bit of a slide. Oh, she's going to keep it pinned side by side, forcing her rival out wide, and that's the move done. Finally well earned.
That was, and yeah, she did the right move in the hairpin. We saw a lot of drivers trying to hang on around the outside of the hairpin. She was smart. She did the switchback and she had the run, and then she just went for it on this corner. And yeah, she was still there, and that's how you do a beautiful move. And yeah, move of the race.
Unless we get a better one soon, I'm marking that one down as easily the move of the race. Finally able to force that past. I hope this is the replay of that. That car was almost a travesty that destroyed this entire battle, but it wasn't quite. Isabel Matthews has to be brave. There's a chance that lap car could have genuinely caused this one to happen, but sometimes factors just go your way. Exit of the hairpin was stronger. Both cars were on the push to pass down the straight here, though, so neither were quite getting the pace advantage, but once you're enough alongside, you can force it. I thought it was all over that slide on the entry, but still alongside Clennon, giving the respect to somebody who'd finally stuck that car in on the inside.
Yeah, again, no contact, a lot of room given, so this is some clean cut open wheel racing like we all like it. Ooh, Traub!
After all that chasing, Traub has just had a truly dismal exit all the way on the grass on the way out, and then he slid the car right through the last right-hander, and that's that.
What was the line through there, Ellis?
Ellis Spice had a spin early in the race, just hasn't made his places back up, still stuck behind Zach Purcell. To be fair to them, their laps were good. Whoa. That was, though, the sort of move that is not going to get you past with this few laps to go. And this is one of the drivers been lapped purely on pace. And, I mean, some of these corners have been so tricky. Elevation changing this car, being weightless on the top of the hill. You already have no grip. How about we double that?
I mean, you could... Oh, Miles Brown has a meatball flag. Oh, there's no front left there. His car's
no good. His car's no good. I can confirm he has run the car hard into a wall on expiring tyres. I know we're getting that replay up anytime soon. Here we go. It was a little bit of gravel on corner exit here, and the tyres overheated at the same time. And you put too much power down on one corner exit, and it all sort of ends for you. Here's Brown. She's on the left there, hanging from the bridge, by the way. There you go. Nailed it. Jump that curb. Don't think it was here. It's quite a bit further down, but we'll keep watching. It must be approaching the exit of this turn. Yes, it was. It was the hairpin. I can't use my eyes to orient myself around here. It's too early in the day, unfortunately. I say at 8 p.m. my time. That's early enough. I think we've got this whole lap down, so we're trying to work out exactly where that happened. Still running. Please tell me. Yeah, there's gravel here, so I know it was around here. And you'd be surprised because that car didn't even really get that much under. I think the overcorrection might have done more damage than the crash itself.
The car tends to slide at the exit of that final corner So yeah, and yeah, just you feel it slip away. You want to correct it. Oh, I overdid it, and yeah, you're done.
So Lowell got away from Lippy, and now Lippy's got one last chase to run off because Robert Ridgway's got him right up to his rear, and you won't want to count Trump out of a battle anytime soon. Only 2 to go. Perez just using the last of his... He's still got 20 seconds that push to pass, the push for the greatest lap of his life. Watch the fastest lap come through on the top of the screen. These top 3, they've got almost nothing between themselves, though, apart from Trump further back, but it's going to be tricky for him to really make a move. This is going to be about if anyone makes a mistake with 2 to go. Be heartbreaking time to do it, although we've already seen a mistake this close to the end of the race already. Ooh. Tiny lock-up must have been from Ridgway. Pretty well recovered, though. Not that big of a deal. We keep running.
Yeah, that was Strop locking up in the hairpin, so... Yeah, not running the cleanest of event for Trump or Ridgway.
Close again to the rear. Little checkups here in sections that you don't want to force a pass. A checkup is as scary as anything else, but it does actually sort of let the lead car get their gap back out open again.
That's true. Meanwhile, white flag for Perez. Well, yeah, as I told you, yeah, he's Alex following everyone here.
I mean, what can you say about Perez's race other than we've not seen very much of it? Well, he's won a truly, truly beautiful one, and we'll see if we can get the fastest lap of the race with all the push to pass in the world now. Here's Ridgway, though, on the chase for our final podium position, staying neatly in tow. Bit wide on the exit for Lippy, but not that big of a deal, going to allow him to maintain the pace. I mean, the amount of corners, it's running down and down and down. You're only going to get one more shot at pivotal ones, such as this.
Yeah, this is now and ever for Ridgway. Yeah, that's Ridgway. Yeah, that's Ridgway. No push to pass there. Interesting.
1, 2, 3 in line. There's none in any of these cars.
Oh, yeah.
Still a check up on the turn. Ridgway gets close, but if the exit isn't good enough, he's not going to make up the ground. Ivan Machado Perez, by the way, crosses the line as the winner here at Barber. A pretty easy one, but still an epic drive and an epic performance. Robert Ridgway almost there, got in alongside himself, but he didn't quite make enough, and that might have been one of his last few chances. You can see Trump try everything on the corner exit. He's made it alongside, but he's on the outside. This is going to be tough for him. No grip on the exit of that turn. The 3 cars are going to make it back in order. A last second, and Lippy keeps 3rd.
Wow, that was a great battle between these 4 guys. They put it all on the table. Felt like a chess match between them, and yeah, that was great.
I won't lie, I might have licensed this track on iRacing an hour and a half ago. One of the 4 road courses left remaining on my entire purchase schedule. But it's an absolute joy, and I can see why it's absolutely adored now. That was a thrilling run on a very difficult track. Ivan Ricardo Perez wins ahead of Armand Lau and Rafael Lippi for our top 3. Robert Ridgway and Johannes Trump make it close in 4th and 5th, but not quite close enough. Isabel Matthews, probably the move of the race there for P6 out of David Clennon, with Lewin Vasquez, Jeremy Cruz, and Alex Warkus making out our top 10. Further back, Zach Purcell holds off Ellis Spice after his spin early on the road. Michael Hanswick is the first driver to be 2 laps down. Christopher Saheim and Miles Brown struggled on the track, and Richard Stone and Matthias Esquel Markamimi could not finish. Another day on the Indy NXT schedule. Always an exciting road, but there's plenty more down the line. Long Beach is up next, one of the premier road courses on all of iRacing, and on the schedule it's tight, but it's fast and it's thrilling, and it'll be here. Let me check the date before I say something that I shouldn't. Make it the weekend of April 18th. That's about 3 weeks away. As a reminder, this broadcast series is brought to you by iCoaching. iCoaching's high-level setups and personalized coaching programs are built to take your iRacing, iRating, and race consistency to the next level. Get yourselves for this series and the iRacing IndyCar series online at iCoaching.co. And there's more to come on the Velocity Online Racing channel, of course. We bring you action from all sorts of open wheel racing across the iRacing schedule, and the obviously the VRR IndyCar series is on its way to return as well. We have the exhibition series on the St. Petersburg Street Circuit, followed by the VOR Signature Series going to St. Pete's, brand new last minute schedule change. I love that track though. I've been adoring every second I've been running it. Then we take the VOR to Las Vegas for our season finale before we return with the Indy NXT series at Long Beach. Any last thoughts, any last reflections, Sebastian, on an exciting race before we move on to Long Beach next week? Next time?
Well, no, because Long Beach is in a month, Howie. It's in April 18th, actually, where we'll be having Long Beach for the Indy NXT series. But this race has been quite exciting. A lot of good battles and clean battles, Howie. Drivers respected one another today, and that's what we want to see on this broadcasted racing for the official Indy NXT series. So overall, I would say I gave this race a good 8 out of 10. Maybe could have been better if you didn't have one guy being 30 seconds ahead of everyone. But hey, that's life.
You got to award skill when you see it, and I don't think any Formula Series is totally immune from a driver becoming dominant in their own way, and it is wonderful to see such talent on the track. Anyway, from all of us here at the Velocity Online Racing team, Julian Arteta behind the cameras. I think his PC passed the hazing ritual this time successfully. Looking forward to seeing more of that in action alongside Howie Burrows and Sebastian Kinder for today's broadcast. Thank you very much for watching the Indy NXT series, and subscribe to the Velocity Online Racing channel for more over the coming weeks.